So here we are. Is this what I have to do to try to get justice? We use judicial corruption to eliminate it, and it says here, note, apply liberally. So we better get some liberal stuff on here. You know, this is the only way of justice. Do I regret it? No.
Why would somebody burn a flag? Take them, send it up in smoke like this. I want to explain. There's two symbols on it that are very well known. We're talking about dictatorship. Both of these are very well known. The one is a Nazi symbol. But long before the Nazis, long before Hitler used it, it was a form used by many tribes and stuff like that, way in the past, hundreds of years earlier and stuff like that. It's debauchery, it's murderous, it's you know, all the despicable thoughts that you have with it. That's still true today. And just because Nazi used it doesn't mean it's a Nazi symbol. It's a form of dictatorship. The other one, communism, from USSR, when USSR was still in power, the KGBs were the law enforcement. Why use these two symbols? Because it was a dictatorship. Because a dictatorship, what is a dictatorship? First of all, they could storm in, KGB and the Nazis could storm into your house, arrest your mother, your father, your husband, your wife, your child, whatever. No accusations, you know. In America, we're supposed to be the land where you're innocent until you're proven guilty. And the KGB and the dictatorships and Nazi symbols, it was not so. You were guilty right from the get-go, and there was nothing you can do about it. You couldn't go to any higher authorities. So why am I placing it on a Wisconsin flag? Why would I put that on there? Let me explain. That's the explanation of the symbols. Now, the strategies that I have used, I will try to explain why I'm doing what I'm doing. I have started a website right at the beginning, ScrewedKenoshaStyle.com was my website. Everything happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Kenosha, Wisconsin is between Milwaukee and Chicago. For anybody that doesn't know it, if you live in California, where's Kenosha at? Kenosha is a city. ScrewedKenoshaStyle.com was my website. Those are things that I fought back. Instead of going from the mistake and everything like that, I'll try correcting it first with the strategies that I've used. I've used a website. I have used t-shirts. I have used books. I wrote 3 books on a situation. The first one is Torn Asunder in the Jaws of a Cult. I was involved in a religious cult at one time, and as it progressed, it transmuted into the cult. It was just very strict. In this book, I'm not going to go through all the things that they can and cannot do, but I will go to the second one. They don't believe in doctors, don't believe in medicine. I remember Ralph. Ralph was an old man, 80-year-old man, had a stroke. He was bedridden there for about 2 weeks. In the meantime, he couldn't take any moisture, anything down in his stomach, anytime during those 2 weeks. I remember very explicitly how he would cry for water, water, water. They'd give him a teaspoon of water. He could keep that one. Give him a second teaspoon and puke it up. All he needed is an IV, but they don't believe in doctors and medicine. They allowed that man to die. Then we couldn't get any ambulance. Couldn't call the ambulance right away. We waited literally an hour before we called the ambulance. Why? Because if the ambulance showed up before that, before the body was cold, they would be doing CPR on it. And that is medicine doctor, so they just allowed the man to die. 11-month-old baby, you can read about that in California thing. How they just allowed the baby to die, nothing was done about it. Another man I knew very well when he was still a teenager. He got married, he got into the church, he started doing a little bit of preaching, and all of a sudden he fell out of concrete at his regular job, had a hernia the size of a volleyball. That's huge. That's basically all your intestines in there. They don't believe in doctors, don't believe in medicine. But after he started getting weaker and weaker, 2 church brothers decided to help him out. They're going to try pushing him back. They started pushing him back, ruptured the vessel, and he bled to death right there. Would you call that murder? He left behind a wife and 2 children. The youngest child was a week and a day old. That's a Black Road conspiracy. Is the next one. Black Road conspiracy is what happened to me when I got pushed into the court system. Why did I get pushed into the court system? Because the church didn't like all the beating and abuses that we did in the church. I would go against it. I didn't like it. I saw one of my children totally black and blue and orange and purple and red and every single color you have from there all the way up to there. Totally colored. There was not hardly a spot of regular nice pink flesh anywhere, white. So I wasn't going along with that abuse, and the pastor started dealing with my wife. You need to leave him right in front of me, in front of 2 of my boys, her and that. She needs to leave me, and she did. Moved in with him. So that got pushed into a divorce case, which got into the court system. What happened in the court system? Why do I call it a dictatorship? Let's start off. Judge runs out of the courtroom as I entered for my scheduled hearing. I had scheduled a hearing. I was supposed to have it. As I'm coming to the courtroom, there's a sentry on the thing looking around. All of a sudden he spotted me, and boom, he gave the judge a warning. I took off running. I got into the courtroom just in time to see the judge running out the side door. If I would have not run, I would have not seen that. Is that a dictatorship where she can just go ahead and forget the scheduled hearing? I believe it's a dictatorship. Number two, same judge, I believe has a second DUI. Look it over here. Mary Kay Wagner. It's a Judge Mary Kay Wagner, and there's also Mary Kay Wagner, which I saw a documentation off a special computer down in the basement at one of the legal departments or whatever like that. Somebody else helped me bring it up because I said what I'm looking for. I saw it with my own eyes. Wisconsin versus Mary Kay Wagner. Same age, same address. What are the chances of somebody else, a different Mary Kay Wagner, being there? I believe she has a second DUI. And why is it the typical you and me, if we have a second DUI, it's a mandatory jail sentence? But she never did, because she's part of the KGB, part of the Nazi, part of the dictatorship group. It's a KGB. It's a Nazi symbol. It's a dictatorship. Next one. She gave campaign contributions to the top pinnacle, Shirley Abrahamson, the top Wisconsin judge of the Supreme Court, Wisconsin Supreme Court. She gave contributions to that. Now, what are the chances that if you or I was going to make a complaint to the Supreme Court against Mary Kay Wagner? We wouldn't hold a chance, because we never gave her any contributions, but yet Mary Kay Wagner has, so therefore it becomes a dictatorship again. It's all locked in, it's all meshed in, they're all in it together. What about the judge? What about the judge that said, I brought up the child abuse that's in the church there? He says, oh, everything off record, everything off record. Then he says, even with golf clubs, beating a child, that's brutality. But yet he says, oh, even that would not be child abuse to his mind. Brucey Schroeder, still on the bench. Why? Why does it happen? I described about in the book how that happens. It's because when you get to the politicians, when you get to the voting booth, there's only one, District 5 or District 6 or, jurisdiction, whatever it is, and there's only one judge. Brucey Schroeder. Do you elect for him yes or nothing? So therefore he gets elected. 5 people go in the courtroom or into election booths and put X in it, he's voted again. How would you dare run against him? That's part of the dictatorship. And wrongfully shackled is what happened to me when I got arrested. I had served a full year already, a 3-month, and a 6-month sentence already in the jail, and it's what I experienced in there. So those are the 3 books that I'm fighting against. So let's go on. What is the mistake that we have? What is the mistake that we have? If you go to my website, ScrewedKenoshaStyle.com, scroll down to Judge Mary Kay Wagner. This, the IRS, would look at your adjusted gross income, AGI. This is what the banks take. This is what the IRS takes. Any kind of loan officer would look at that. Look how they got their number. They got their number way up here, not down here. Line 33. However, years later, I've been fighting for 11 years already. This all started in 2002. And we've been an ongoing fight and battle with that. We're not getting into it. We're not getting into it. Every single judge that I had said, I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into it. It's been predetermined. I'm not getting into it. A mistake that they cannot correct. So I go into the Court of Appeals, appeal that. Court of Appeals says, hey, there's no mistake. I'm not asking them to correct a mistake. Go back to my website, look at the appeal that I gave, find out where. Tell me where I put in there that I wanted them to correct it. I did not ask them to correct it. I want the circuit court to correct the problem. Then they reject it, so what can I do? I go higher to the Wisconsin Supreme Court. They just pitch it. And I'm back in the circuit court. Basically what I'm having is this little situation right here. This is me. I'm the hamster that's going round and around in the wheel. In the court systems, it's going round and round and round. What happens? Here is Kenosha, Wisconsin Circuit Court. I get into that system. They don't like it. We're not going to correct it. So I appeal it to the Court of Appeals. They don't like it. I go to the Wisconsin Supreme Court. They don't like it, so I just keep going round and round and round. Now, what do we have a problem? We have a problem here because why can't I flee? Why can't I get out the other side? Because there's a great big roadblock. The big roadblock is this. I'm not an attorney. I can't afford an attorney. And I can't get a public pretender. Why? Because a public defender is for a criminal, not for a family court. So I'm stuck without any kind of representation whatsoever. So I can't escape that way. If I decide to quit running and jump out, or if the wheel quits, whenever the wheel quits, I go right back to jail. I fall right back in the frying pan. So I gotta stay running, stay active, can't escape this way, can't escape that way. It's just a continuation. That is the reason it's a dictatorship. Because you have no control, you don't have any justice left anymore. Okay, what have I done? Where have I gone to? I have gone to the Kenosha court system. That doesn't work. I went to the Court of Appeals. That doesn't work. They reject it. Go to Wisconsin. They don't even look at it. I've gone to the federal courts, tried suing them. You can't sue a judge, you can't do this. I'm not an attorney, I can't afford an attorney. So I can't do it properly. I can't figure out the right statutes, but I have it. You can go on my website and take a look at it. You can go through my book to see exactly what routes I took. I tried previous governors. Jim Dolan says if you got a problem with a judge, a certain judge, go to the Judicial Commission. I went to the Judicial Commission. I gave them my complaint. Oh, we can only do against their actions, not against their decisions. I said, what about the judge running out of the courtroom? What about the golf clubs? They never respond after that. They never correct the problem. So, is it a dictatorship? Yes, I believe it's a dictatorship. Director of state courts. I've sent them many, many letters. They're supposed to control and regulate the court system, give them advice and this and that. Nothing ever has happened to that. Attorney Bar Association. What has the attorney done? You can go to the report, my income versus what it is. Recently, the attorney realizes that they made a mistake, but they don't want to admit a mistake. If they do, there's going to be restitution. And they don't want that. So they can't open up that can of worms. So it just keeps going around and around and around. Now they change it to this line. But all the past, no, we're not getting into that. That's the way we originally figured. That's a lie. Okay, what else? Attorney Bar Association, he deliberately lied in the courtroom. The attorney did. And yet, the Bar Association Office of Lawyers Regulations will not do a thing. I've contacted every single politician in Wisconsin. There are some that reside in Madison and some that reside in Washington, D.C. I've contacted all of them. I even went to Washington, D.C. I even went to paralegal college, tried to get an associate's degree in paralegal. What have I learned? I spent $15,000, $17,000. And what did I get? I found out that the Wisconsin system is screwed up, and according to legal matters, legal ways and means, there's no way I can come out of it. If the judge says, no, we're not looking at it, I'm just a dictator here, I can control the laws ain't going to do anything, I don't have to look at the laws, I'm out of the game. I just keep going through the wheel here, into the frying pan, and I have the stops all over the place. So, it is time to make a symbol of the flag of what it is.
There we go. Wonderful. Yes. Yes. Get rid of that. Corruption is going to be gone. Wonderful. Get rid of the dictatorship. I need your help. Please. Thank you.